Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Mike. Hope you're doing great and having a wonderful day today. So we're going to continue on with my book tour series. But before we do that, if you see something in the background or hear something, it's just life. I'm doing laundry. It's my day off work. So this is our fat cat, Gracie. Spoiled rotten. Anyways, so I've got this video and then one more video and I'll be done with my book tour series. So if you've stuck around this long, I appreciate it. I hope it didn't bore you too much, but this shelf here is all of my poetry books. So I try to, on my shelves, keep my books together, all my classics together, poetry together, etc. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Oh, before we do that, I haven't done a reading update, technically in a while. So right now I'm reading The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. This is a buddy read with Chris over at Chris's Reading Corner, and I'll put his channel in the description. I've seen the movie. I think they made 2 movies of the first book and second book. Movies are good. Obviously, the books are better. So I'm not too far in. Oh, you can't even tell. I'm not too far in. I just started this a couple days ago. I've just been really busy, and just haven't had a lot of time to read. You know how it is. You work all day, you get home, you want to read, but you just got other stuff to do. And before you realize it, it's 9 o'clock, and to me, 9:30, that's bedtime, because I get up about 5:36 every day. So anyways, I'll stop rambling. All right, we'll start on this here. So this is a 2-volume set. This is American Poetry, 19th Century, Volume 1, Freneau to Whitman. Volume 2 is Melville to Stickney, American Indian Poetry, Folk Songs and Spirituals. These are love poems by Daniel Steele. Yes, Daniel Steele. Sorry for the glare on some of these, I can't help it. Whispers of Madmen, poems by Matt Fontana and R.G. Bell. And I did take your recommendation, Philip, about more modern poets. None of these really are, but I am working on getting some more modern poetry books. So, Poem Portraits for All Occasions by James Metcalf. There's a picture of James Metcalf on the back. Henry, this is favorite poems of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The dust jacket is not in great shape. Some of these books are really old. Let's see. We'll jump to this one. I found this one, I think it was at my local library. It's The Treasury of Poetry for Children by Susie Gibbs. I'm trying to get it where it's not glaring. I just thought that was really neat. Kind of breaks it down. There's some real famous poems in there. Breaks it down, kind of for children. So, and with pictures. This is it's the box set. And the box set says The Essential Poetry Collection. Best love works from our greatest poets. The box is kind of tore up. It's kind of old, but we've got Dickinson, Whitman, Shelley, Browning, Donne, Keats, Wordsworth, Wilde, Yeats, and then Lear. Now, when it comes to selected poems of whatever poet, I would personally rather have the complete collection of poems from that person, because when somebody publishes a book and it says, selected poetry of X, Y, or Z, whoever that author is publishing that, it's their favorites, or a collection of a group of people's favorites. So, I mean, they're great poems, don't get me wrong, but it's not their complete works of whatever poet that is. So, and I do have a few collected poems of, in this stack here. But next one is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. This is a little one I found not too long ago. Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe in this really nice Barnes & Noble edition. I've had this book for at least 10 years. This Leaves of Grass, Selected Poems, Walt Whitman. Now this is a Pan Macmillan. I just love the Pan Macmillan books. If you haven't looked into it, I would highly suggest it. They just make some beautiful books. It's got that nice blue, I don't know what that is, felt or something, but, oh, and then I was going to show you the inside of that. Just beautiful. This is not the complete works of Whitman. Walt Whitman is one of my favorite poems, and I just like to collect different editions of his works. This is the same thing, Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. This is the complete poetry of Walt Whitman. It's also in that Barnes & Noble, smaller edition. If you couldn't tell, I've got a whole bunch of poems marked in there, kind of my favorites and things like that. Next one, Romeo and Juliet. It's plain on the front and back because this was a school book edition from a high school, so there's nothing on there. Collected Poems of Dylan Thomas from 1934 to 1952. This is called Signals. It's a book of poetry by Lynn McCain, and it says not for resale, so I don't know if this was like a advanced copy from this author or what it was. I just found this at a bookstore. The Complete Poetical Works of Scott. Here. I've shown this on a previous one, but this is The Great Romantics. Selected Poems of Lord Byron, Percy Shelley, and John Keats. And if you have any poets or poems, put them in the comments. I will definitely take suggestions. If you've read any of these, let me know. Hamlet, Poem Unlimited by Harold Bloom. Here's something in the background. Don't know what it is, but again, that's just life. Selected Poems by Rita Dove. Classic, everybody probably knows this, Dante, The Divine Comedy. I've shown this one before as well, 101 Famous Poems. I'm not going to go through every name. If you want to pause the video and zoom in, but that's everyone that's in there, and I've marked throughout. This is my most used. This is also the Complete Poetry and Selected Prose of Walt Whitman. This is kind of my user copy. I mean, I've got it marked up and tabbed up, so. Next one is Anarchy for the Innocents, Crafting in Poetic Universe by James Moffat. If I can remember right, I want to say that this guy is a YouTuber, or used to be, because I want to say I got that off of his YouTube channel years ago, but I don't remember now. Exiles of Eden, Poems by Clifford Brooks. This is a pretty small, but The Best of James Whitcomb Riley. Lifting the Veil, Imagination in the Kingdom of God by Malcolm Guite. Now, Malcolm Guite has a YouTube channel. I haven't watched his stuff in quite a long time, but it's a good channel. Go check him out. He's a poet. He's written multiple different books, and he does a lot of different things. I don't know how much he does anymore as far as going to places and doing talks and speaks, but Good Harbor by Max Heinig. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. 4 Centuries of Great Love Poems, compiled by Deborah Starr. The Meadows of Memory and Other Poems by Stephen Jessup. Nothing too flashy about that one, but this is a YouTuber. I'm pretty sure she still makes YouTube videos, and some of you might have even heard of her. So it's called On Sun Swallowing by Dakota Warren. This was one of those that I followed her years ago, but probably less than 5. And she's put out, I think, a few different collections of her poems besides this one. This one is Blossoms of Friendship by Helen Steiner Rice. The Republic of Poetry by Martin Espada. What's that say? He was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize for this, I'm assuming. A couple more, and then I've got a couple big books over here. This is called Hurricane Review. And what this is Hurricane Review. I don't know if you see that, 2022. I believe this is like a collection of poems put together by a college. Yeah, Hurricane Review is an annual publication of the Department of English and Communications at Pensacola State College. So I think this is like at that college, you know, a group of students, whoever puts in probably for a contest or something, and they get their poems published through this. That's what I'm assuming. And then this one is Tennyson, Lord Tennyson, Ideals of the King, which it's just plain. There's nothing on there. So let me see if I can get something on the inside. Yeah, here's something. All right, last couple stacks here. I'll save these for last. So this is the Viking Book of Poetry of the English-speaking world. This is a first edition. So Viking Book of Poetry came out with the second version, but they added and split it into 2 books. So this is the first original. And then they come out with these 2. So they split these 2 up, and this is the book, the Viking Book of Poetry of the English-speaking world, by Richard Aldington, Volume 1 and 2. I know the glare's pretty bad because they're covered in plastic, so I'm sorry, but here's the front of that one. Hopefully you can see. I would take the plastic off, but they're sealed on there with that book tape. So I don't want to rip the dust jacket. Next one is the best loved poems of the American people. Again, this one's pretty old. The dust jacket's not the greatest. I'm just very hesitant to put tape on that, because I've seen books that have been taped, and over time it just messes up the dust jacket more. So I don't know. And then my last stack here, which I've shown all these before in a, I think it was like 108, what was it, 810 Years of Poetry or something like that. These are just all my super old books I got. Scott's Lady of the Lake. And I don't know if the lighting is good enough to get that, but let me get you, I think there's a picture in the front I can show you here. Yeah, Walter Scott. This one is called Snowbound. I'm going to have to open it up because there's nothing on the front. So this is the book. I don't think you can see the side, but it's by John Greenleaf Whittier, and I've got to be very careful with this because this one's from 1919, and the book is just old, and I don't want to open it too much and mess up the spine. Next one is Lowell's The Vision of Sir Launfal and Other Poems. I hope that it gets this, and I don't think it's going to. I can't really tell, so I'm sorry. Let me try to get a page here. This is Lowell's home in Cambridge. That's about I don't know who Lowell is, to be honest with you, so let's see if I can find it real quick. Try not to make this video too long for you guys. Oh, here we go. James James Russell Lowell. Let me get that. This book's not in the greatest shape either. All right, a couple more. I just want to open this up. Sir Walter Scott. Here, let me just show you the front first. Oh, don't do that. The side. Get you a picture inside. And then I'm just trying to be careful with these books. This one is, hang on, this is the next one. I was trying to read the side, but it's really faded because this book is super old. The Poetical Works of Mrs. Hemans. And there's Mrs. Hemans. And then I've got two more. This is another copy, Complete Poetry and Selected Prose of Walt Whitman. Nothing fancy on the front or back, except for, if any of my friends in the UK, you can pause that and read it, and you know anything about the John Rathbone Memorial Library, let me know in the comments. I've tried to look this up online, that John Rathbone Memorial Library. John Rathbone apparently was a flight lieutenant in the Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve, and he died in combat in December 10th, 1940. And this was in his library, and maybe a memorial library. As far as I can find, I can't find anything. I don't know if it's, they shut it down, if they, I don't know. So if anybody knows anything about that, just let me know in the comments. That'd be kind of neat to know. And then the last one. This is another John Greenleaf Whittier, but this is the Poetical Works of. So all of his works. Nothing. There's the side. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's got some gold gilding on the pages. I'm trying to get it opened up here so you can see. There's that. And there's that. This is probably one of my most beautiful books, at least in my opinion. I hope the camera does it justice. It's green, dark green. All right, guys, that is it. Well, thank you for watching. I know this was a little bit longer than I normally make, but I appreciate you guys, and feel free to leave a comment. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.